Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do one of the virtual crop sketches from May. This is number 4 because I still needed to get that one finished. So we're going to do that and we're going to work in my Ireland scrapbook. We're going to Listowel today. I think I'm saying that right. Listowel. Listowel. I believe that's right. And you're going to just fall in love with this little town. We certainly did. It was so cute. And we got to visit an incredible museum when we went here. So you're going to hear more about that as we get to the videos that are coming up in the next few days. But I hope you like this. I hope this is going to be one that you're going to be able to use in your own albums. And yeah, let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so today we are working on this virtual crop for May, layout number 4. This is the last one of the May virtual crop sketches, I believe. I think it's the last one I need to do for you. I don't know if I did this one. We may still need to do number 3, but for now, we are going to do number 4 today. And we are continuing our adventures in Listowel, and this is actually the very beginning of the County Kerry Writers Museum, which we learned a lot and really had fun investigating this cute little museum. And when I say little, I mean little only because the actual square footage I think is pretty small, but there is so much to see that it was amazing. So well worth a stop if you are going to be in that area of this sweet country. So I have 2 pieces of cardstock on my desk. I have a kind of a lighter green and a dark green. I have a piece of designer paper from the Kelly Green Totally Tonal pack. And then I have the shamrock paper from the 2021 NSD pack. And I have what's left of that white textured paper that we used in the last layout. And so we're going to just use kind of the remnants of that with our circles and our punches. I have the shamrock and clover punches that we used in the last layout. We're going to use those again, and the CM circle punch that punches a 1 3/4 inch circle. So we're going to use that as well. We're also going to use this border punch that is CM made, and I'm trying to remember what they call it. They call it the bookshelf, and I was so excited when I saw this come out because it really does look like books that have been lined up and stacked on a shelf. And since we are at a library, I thought it was very it's not necessarily a library. I think I've misspoken, but it is a museum about writers. And so I just thought that the books would be an appropriate border to use with this. So I'm just going to set that to the side for a minute. I've got my permanent and repositionable adhesive, which we will definitely be using. We're just going to set them to the side for now while we cut some pieces. So let's get the pieces of this layout, or this, yeah, the pieces of this sketch cut. So I'm going to grab my 12-inch trimmer, and we are going to cut these pieces. First one we're going to cut is this dots piece right here from the Totally Tonal collection with the hearts, the 2-tone hearts on the back. This is a super easy one to cut because you're basically just cutting it in half. So I'm going to line it up using my tab that I have right there, and we're going to just cut that straight down the middle. So we have a 6 by 12 piece for the right and a 6 by 12 piece for the left. Now I'm going to take my shamrock and clover paper This we are going to cut 2 1-inch strips from. So I'm going to measure this on the right hand side so that the balance of my paper can be up against this shoulder down here, and I can keep my paper straight much easier that way. So 1 inch for this side, 1 inch for this side. And we are going to come back to that paper in a little bit. So I'm just going to set that to the side so I can access it again quickly in a few minutes. All right. So now what I'm going to do is put my trimmer up for just a second. I'm going to come in here with my circle punch, and I'm going to use that clover paper that we just set over there. We're going to punch it, and we're going to use the back side of this. We need at least 4 of these. Might need more. We used 3 in each area last time, but I'm going to just punch 4, and then if we need another one, we'll do another one. Okay, so those are 4 circles. And we'll worry about the shamrocks in a minute. So I'm just going to set those up there so I don't lose track of them. And we'll take the white papers and kind of tuck them underneath there so we can get back to those as well. Now, the dark green is what we're going to punch. So I'm going to grab the bookshelf punch, and we are going to punch 4 rows of books. So this is going to take a minute, but we're going to push our paper all the way to the back shoulder, hold it in place. I've got the front edge in line with this mark on the front of my punch. You can see that right there. And I'm going to punch and slide my way all the way across this 12-inch piece of paper, matching my design up on the wing over here as I slide. So there's 2. Let me get rid of the punched pieces. I'm going to grab my trimmer. This is called an edge border punch, and that means that we have to trim off our edge if we don't want it to stay connected, and I don't want mine to stay connected. I want it to look like it's sitting on a shelf. So I'm going to line this up so that the horizontal openings in the punch are lined up with the very edge of my cutting mat strip, and that will give me 1/4 of an inch underneath my punch that I can kind of use to look like a shelf. And that makes it really easy to be consistent and make all of them look the same as well. So there's those 2. We're going to do 2 more, and then we'll come back to our trimmer one more time to trim them off. All right, so those are punched. Just gonna get rid of that, and we'll trim these off for the other side. Okay, so there's those. Okay, so those 2. This is just going to be extra. We're going to set it over there for right now. And then I'm going to grab my photos, and we're going to see how many of them we can get matted. So I've got, these are cut to 3.5 inches and they're already at 5 1/4. So I have not cut them down lengthwise at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and add these to my cardstock. We may not be able to do all of them on the other side of our layout, but we'll see. We'll see how many we can get, because I have quite a few on the other side of the layout. There's 4 on the other page. We might need to do is take that smaller one off and do him in a different cardstock. We can do him in the darker green or something, and that ought to be fine. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my trimmer and just cut these apart, and we will be in business, as they say. This green cardstock I'm using here is actually really pretty heavy duty cardstock, and I'm not sure, I think it came out of like a NSD variety pack or something like that, but it is considerably thick cardstock, a little bit thicker than what I'm used to using. That's okay. I'm going to do a considerable amount of trimming on these. Alright, that goes with that one. These go over here. My mom goes over here, and oh, we need to do this little guy. He needs a home, so we're just going to give him a quick wow, that looks really nice on that dark green, doesn't it? Really nice on that. I'm kind of glad we didn't have enough room. I like the darker green for that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and assemble these. So I'm going to put a couple things away here. We're going to put that up there. We're going to grab, this is our left-hand side of the page. You'll recognize this as the page we did last time around. So just have to kind of secure this peekaboo pocket so we don't lose it on the back. Okay, so we're going to, first thing we're going to do is take our dots paper and we're going to go ahead and put that across the bottom. So I'm going to line it up even with the jeeping in the center of my page, and then follow the base of the page all the way across to lay that down. Good to go. Okay, then the clover paper is going to go on top of that. And because this is a 1-inch piece, I'm just going to kind of secure each end, and then we're going to go right down the middle with our adhesive. That works just fine. We're going to put that right up next to those dots. Then we're going to come in here with one of our sets of books. We're going to use our repositionable adhesive. I'm going to go across the bottom, and I'm going to go in just a couple of spots at the top of the books. Okay, this is going to go right here across this seam, and basically I'm going to put this on here so that the seam is right across the top, the opening for the book, the bottom book right here, just like that. So unfortunately we can't see those pretty shamrocks very well, but they do add a little bit of color behind those books. And then we're going to add, let's see, I'm going to reverse my punch so that the books are going a different direction. And we're going to add, oops, there we go, add this guy across the bottom. And he's going to go about 1/4 of an inch off the very bottom edge. Just like that. All right, then we're going to take 2 photos. These photos are going to be lined up just like so. Yeah, about right there. So about 1.5 inches from the top, and about maybe 1.25 inches, or just a little more than 1 inch from the center. And these are pictures of the entrance to the Kerry Writers Museum. And then this is in Irish or Gaelic, and it means praise youth and it will come, disparage youth and it will wither. So wise advice. We're going to learn a little bit more about why the Irish storytellers are revered as we go through this museum a little bit. So we'll talk about that next time. But this placard right here says the Kerry Writers Museum initiated an oral history project in September of 2021. It has proved such a valuable aspect of raising the curtain on Kerry's amateur dramatic heritage, and will continue on a voluntary basis into the future. So if you have Irish heritage, then you may well know the tradition of oral storytelling. And that's basically what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of days. So I'm going to grab 2 of these circles, and we're going to make our cute little embellishments for up the side here. And we could just use our cute shamrock paper so that we don't completely lose that. I wonder if we should do that. Here, let's punch some of our little shamrocks. And then we can see better whether they are going to show up nicer on the green or nicer on the almost can't even tell that they are there. You can see them really nicely on there. Can't see them super well there unless you turn them over. But what if we did this? What if we turned our paper over and punched them going the other direction so that we can shade them? So this is what I mean by that. I'm going to grab my smaller applicator for this. So I'm going to just put a little repositionable adhesive on there. And then I'm going to add that additional punch on there for some definition. That helps a little bit, doesn't it? I don't know if it helps enough. It does definitely give it some three-dimensional qualities, though. So you could do that, or you could use a foam square, and it would provide a similar effect. I think I'm going to go with the solid green, sadly, because I really like the shamrock paper, but I really feel like it's getting lost. The shamrocks are getting lost on the shamrock paper. And I'm going to overlap my circles just a little bit so that they aren't too overly tall. And let's go ahead and add that guy in there. And we'll have this guy going slightly the other direction. And we'll add him in on there. Okay, so there is our left-hand side of the page. And this area is left open intentionally so we can put a title there. If you're new to my channel, let me just explain that I don't add my titles until I am all done with all of my pages, and then I go back and I do all my titles and all my journaling at once. So you're not going to see me journal, but in the flip through that you'll see when this album is completed, you'll see the titles, and I may show you the journaling, or we'll talk about where the journaling is going to go. On this particular page, you could journal right across the top here, and it would be just fine. And that's probably what I will end up doing. All right, let's go ahead and put the other side together. Move that up there. So the other side is slightly different. It's a little more vertical in nature. So we're going to start again with the same dot paper. And we're going to adhere our dot paper going all the way up the outside. So it's flush with the jeeping on the outside of my page, or the very edge of your page if you're doing the the drop-in pocket pages. And then I'm going to add my adhesive to the ends and just go down the center again like I did before. This piece is going to go right up against my dots. Flush up against my dots like that. And then we're going to take our books, and our books are going to be a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Some books get stacked that way, and it'll just be a modern engineering feat because they'll be suspended in mid-air. Right? All right. So then we've got our books that are going to be right here. And I'm placing these just like I placed them before on the other page, with that opening, the vertical, now vertical opening of the base book being my guide, so that that gets on there straight. And then using my repositionable adhesive just in case I need to go over an opening with it. I don't have to worry about it sticking to anything important. And this is going to be 1/4 of an inch from that outside edge so that you can still see the pattern of the paper underneath, right on the edge of the layout. Okay, so that's going to go just like that. Now, we're going to put my photos, once again, are not really following the pattern of what's on the sketch, but that's okay. We are working through it together. This is kind of the entrance, the entry area of the museum. And this is my sweet daughter Emily, the one who twisted her ankle. She and her crutches are going to continue showing up in our layouts because she went through the rest of our trip on crutches. And then we sent the crutches back to the sweet woman who let us borrow them with our tour guide. He dropped them off for us on his way back home. So all worked out for the best, and we were ever so grateful to both of them for that. All right, and the explanation about the elephant in the room, or the elephant that's coming out of the closet in the room, and it being next to my mom, is that elephants are one of her favorite animals. And so I just thought that since we had this rather unique photo, one of the rooms that focuses on one of the storytellers or the writers had this elephant that was coming out of the room. In fact, you can see it right here. It's coming out of the closet behind the sign. And I don't remember if this was actually in one of the display rooms or if this was kind of out in the hallway just before you went up upstairs to see the rest of the exhibits. But you do need to be able to climb stairs to go to this museum. There are a couple of flights that you have to go up or down to see everything. So keep that in mind. But it is a super cute, very fun place to visit. Okay, so let's see. We've got our other cute little circles. We're going to add these to our page. They've got them down here, so we'll put ours down here too. And then I think maybe we'll add the bigger shamrock or bigger clover down here. There's one. There's two. And And then maybe I'll do just a couple more that we can add as embellishing in another area. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive, and I'm going to come in here and these will go here. And the others are going to get lost if we put them on the white, but we could put them kind of up the books right here, or we could flip them over and make them that darker color, and that will pick up the darker color that was used over here just a bit. Maybe. What do we think? I'm going to punch a small one from this little spot right here. All right. And all right, these guards and I, we have words sometimes. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and use that darker side. I think it will be good. And I don't know, maybe I will add this as a white shamrock kind of in the middle so we can see it better since it's on top of that the dark color. Just like that. What do we think? I think that'll work. All right, so we don't need a lot of embellishing on these pages because part of the design work is actually embellishment. But you can see that it actually balances everything out, right? So I've got these that act as embellishments, these that act as embellishments, and then we've got these up here that help our eye make that full circle, and the visual triangle and all of that, right? All right, well, this one went together super fast, and I really like it when they come together really quickly like that. I hope you do too. The last one came together pretty quickly too, so that's all really good. Good news. We need a couple that are really quick because we've had a couple that were a little longer, so this is good. I hope this works for you, and I hope that you can come up with something similar to use in your albums. The sketches are meant to inspire you, as I mentioned before, and you can change them however you like. So if you need to, you could just turn yours and make yours the same and make it go all the way across your layout just like that. Make it, you know, similar. Or you can do it the way they've designed and do it like this with the border going vertical and horizontal. It's completely up to you. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.